the Tony Schiavone you would talk to now is not the same Tony Schiavone you would talk to 20 or 30 years ago. And anyway, not trying to excuse any of that. What he said was stupid. He shouldn't have done it. It was fucking hateful and ugly, et cetera, et cetera. However, I always judge people based on how they handle me. And so I just treat people how they treat me. And man, Hulk couldn't have been nicer or cooler. And just, he's a cool guy, as you said. And it's a shame that now, you know, that's sort of something you have to apologize for saying that. Hey, I met Hulk Hogan and he was nice. Like, you're kind of not supposed to say that anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Which is a shame.
It is.
By the way, though, Ron Funches does have the funniest Hulk Hogan joke in the history of professional wrestling and comedy. So if Ron Funches is coming to your town, you should go out of your way to see him. Like, somewhere my wife is still laughing at the joke.
And that's because Ron Funches, not only is he our friend, he is really one of the funniest men out there.
Oh, without question.
Without question. And you say, well, you say that because he's your friend. Yeah, but watch his special on Comedy Central.
Go see him live. It's even better than the Comedy Central special.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff you can do live that you might not want to do on TV. So I can do a joke in front of 400 people that I might not want to do in front of 4 million.
Right. Same thing we do when we go live. We do things live that we don't do here.
Oh, for sure. Especially the part where you like.
Whoa, stop.
Okay.
Stop. I don't know where you were going, but I'm sure it wasn't good.
Speaking of not good, here comes Chris Benoit.
Potential in this match, though, Benoit against Rick Steiner.
I don't think there's really potential in 1999. I think if this was 1999 Chris Benoit versus 1989 Rick Steiner.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
I think 99 Rick Steiner was just sort of like going through the motions.
Well, he was going through a lot of health problems. He had bad shoulders, you know. He had taken a lot. I mean, think about all the crazy bumps the Steiners used to take, right? I mean, you got to feel that here we are, you know, 10, 11 years, 12 years later, those bumps have worn you down.
Listen, this is about to be ugly and unfair, what I'm going to say. But
okay.
I just want to talk just openly and honestly with my wrestling friend here.
Okay.
I'm going to start naming tag teams. And I want you to tell me who you think was the bigger star of the two.
Okay. I think that's pretty easy.
The Rockers.
Shawn Michaels.
So the smaller star, of course, in your opinion, is Marty Jannetty. Hard to argue.
Right.
The Road Warriors.
It was, and I'm not saying this because I give Animal shit. It was Hawk.
Now here's the challenging one, because I think most people would do that. Well, like, we'll just keep it going a little longer. The original Midnight Express.
The original Midnight Express. Bobby Eaton.
The Rock and Roll Express.
Ricky Morton.
You could do this just automatically, but I feel like the Steiner brothers were one of the only teams where that answer changed over time. I think when the Steiner brothers first became a thing, most everybody would have said, oh, Rick Steiner. But as time goes on, with the creation of the Frankensteiner, and then of course when they break out and they become single stars, there's no question it becomes Scott Steiner at that point. But I think it was Rick first.
No, you're right. I didn't think of it that way, but you're absolutely right.
It's just wild to me that, you know, it switches. And I wasn't a fan. I'll admit, I wasn't a fan of the Midnight Rockers. I wasn't watching wrestling back then, the early days of the Rockers, but apparently a lot of people were of the opinion that it was going to be Marty Jannetty who was going to be the big breakout star of the duo. And of course we know it went on to be Shawn Michaels, and I think we're all better for it because Shawn was one of the best all-time performers ever. But I think like early Steiner brothers, Rick was the star and Scott was Rick's brother. But then as time goes on I do think that started to change with the Frankensteiner, because that move got so hot so fast that they were like, oh, we could put him in a singles match against Flair for the belt, and it draws a rating. And they're like, oh, fuck, we might have something. People try to break them up. They don't want to do that, maybe because Scott, in his mind, was still the little brother to Rick. And maybe Rick saw, well, hey, he's got this hot move. I don't really want to. So they stuck together as a team. But allegedly, you know, there was an opportunity in both WCW and the WWF for them to break up and go singles, and they didn't, and stuck together. And then famously, when they did split up, Big Papa Pump became a thing. And because you go back and you look at those early Scott Steiner promos when they're a tag team.
Yeah.
Fucking not good.
No, you're right.
And Scott is a friend of the show now. It's weird how things change. But man, as a tag team wrestler, like, you had to let all the heavy lifting go to Rick Steiner because it just wasn't there. And then all of a sudden, it's like the switch flips and Big Papa Pump is here. And it's just fascinating to me because I don't think that dynamic has existed in another team that I can think of off the top of my head. Can you think of one?
No, it didn't happen in the Rock and Roll Express.
Like even Edge and Christian. And right. I think those are about as equally matched as you could. I think people would say it's Edge. The Hardy Boys, people would say it's Jeff. The Dudley Boys, people would say it's Bubba. There's just always one guy who's sort of like, okay, he's the lead guy. I don't know why it works that way. It's just, that's the way fans perceive them. And I think that really changed with the Steiners.
It may have been because before there were the Steiner brothers, there was a Rick Steiner.
Right.
That's probably the reason. They're doing some pretty good bumps here in this match.
No, this is a much better match than I gave you credit for. I slept on Rick Steiner. Shouldn't have.
Yeah. Yeah. When you can perform, you can perform. And little Charles still out there. Rick was a television champ up here, and I think Benoit was a U.S. champ. Uh-oh. Who we got?
Perry Saturn, formerly one half of the Eliminators. And nobody talks about John Cronus.
Oh, God.
Choke slam.
Oh, man. That looked fucking good. Hell of a bump that time.
You got to deliver a power bomb. I need you to power bomb like Jobber Schiavone at Thanksgiving. Can we do that?
No, I don't. With my neck surgery, I have no strength in my arms at all. I can't pick up shit. I can't. So I can't do it. Now you may be, we could tag team power bomb somebody if you wanted. I grab him around the legs and you help me lift him up, and then you let go and I continue down. Does that sound good?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, we are a team. We are a team once a week here, so I thought that we could end up teaming up. Wasn't sure. Just trying to build some more camaraderie between us.
By the way, this feels like as good of a place as any to plug Scott Steiner's Shoney's in Ackworth, Georgia. We routinely get tagged in social media when people stop by, because if you're a wrestling fan, like the foyer, it's something you should see, especially if you're passing through. I mean, don't go to that fucking Hardee's and get something to eat. Go in that Shoney's, knock you out a cheeseburger and a Coke, and the lobby's kind of cool.
And Scott Steiner and his wife cannot be any more gracious hosts.
Oh yeah. I mean,
anybody that stops by there,
we have fun here on the show, and he's crazy and he's a badass and blah, blah, blah. And all those things are true. He's also a business owner. So when you go check out the place, like, the real him is going to come check on you and see if everything's going well, and if you need anything, and you got enough to eat. And it's kind of fucking surreal. Yeah,
it is. And that's because there's two things. Scott Steiner in real life is a great kid, and Scott Steiner in real life, when the bell rings, is a scary motherfucker. And those are both true statements. Because when he did the first Starrcast,